There was a dean here sometime in 2003. There was a dean, and the dean, I think, resigned from the position. I was then a faculty member of the College of Law, and the president asked me if I could be the dean. I said, being the dean was not of my priorities. I wanted to become a farmer. I wanted to become a gentleman farmer. I wanted to become a gentleman fisherman. But then I remember the father, the president, appealed to my being a graduate of San Sebastian. And he said no one was going to handle the deanship, so I said yes. Initially, it was difficult. The transition from a mere faculty member was quite bumpy. It was not a bed of roses. It was not actually a very smooth thing to do initially. But then as the years went by, I learned to know the ropes. It was not easy because you had to contend with lawyers who are faculty members, and lawyers are known for being very, they're not really agreeable in one sense because they always complain. It's not easy to contend with faculty members who are lawyers. You know, lawyers, very litigious. They say this, they say that. It's not very easy to reconcile the desires of one versus the desires of another. But later on, I learned to adjust. The most difficult part of being a dean is how to say no and how to impose the rules. I took over a school which was not really that strict, and I became very strict when I became a dean. I started refusing admission to students who did not make the grade, who did not make the proper average, and that was the difficult thing, how to break free from the past policies. And there was a lot of resistance to new policies, but the resistance was only initial, and later on everything went smoothly. I no longer go to courts the way young lawyers do, where you wake up in the morning. I engage in consultancy, and I have my clients. My clients are actually lawyers. They come to me, they ask for advice. Sometimes I advise them on how to write memoranda, on how to write briefs. I have some cases too, which I handle personally, but they're mostly pro bono. Because for me, being a lawyer right now at my age is not a question of having this kind of money on a particular rainy day, etc. No, it's simply how you can help people right now. It's my students who market my books. I do not consciously sell my books. I wrote books in order to make people realize that remedial law has a story to tell. It is that story that they should know. And I always tell my students, ang kailangan niyong malaman ay ang istorya ng remedial law. Why we have remedial law. Pag nakuha mo yung istoryang yon, smooth sailing ang pag-aaral mo. So it's my students who market my books because they tell people about the merits of the book, of the material. When I accept students, the first thing I look for is the aptitude to do legal work. And the aptitude to do legal work would necessarily be connected with the interest of the student to take up law. If you don't have interest to take up law, then your aptitude will not really be something that would be appreciated. So when I was a dean, I gave them also questions. Normally essay questions. I don't ask my students objective questions mostly. But then, essay questions, I ask them to explain this and that. And that would be the most effective way to gauge the aptitude of a student. But there are some students who I feel don't have an aptitude for law school. But sometimes I do accept them because they are so-called late bloomers. And the reason first could be because they suffer from a cultural shock when they go to law school. How do you envision this school 5 years from now? Oh, this is school? Meaning this is school? I don't know, but I'm no longer the dean of the College of Law right now. I gave up the deanship more than a year ago. I became the dean in 2003. And when I came to San Sebastian, there were few students. I managed to increase the enrollment to 1,000. And when I came here, there were no bar top-notchers. During my term, I managed to have 3 top-notchers, one number 6, one number 9, and one was number 1 in 2008. And when I was a dean, I was tasked to organize a bar review. And prior to that, there were only 60 bar reviewees of the law school. When I organized the law school in 2004, I mean the bar review, which I named the Recoletos Law Center, the initial enrollment was 450. Then it became 550 over the years, then 650, and then right now, after several years of operation, we actually had more than 1,000 bar reviewees. We have been the biggest bar review center since 2005. Makes a good lawyer. The word good is very relative. It's very difficult to define the word good. The definition cannot be placed in clear shades of black and white. But the word good necessarily has a universal meaning. Just look at the attorney's oath, and that defines what good is. A lawyer who follows his calling as a lawyer in relation to the lawyer's oath is a good lawyer. Although I told you the word good is very relative. What makes a lawyer from San Sebastian College stand out from those who graduated from other schools? I still do not know of any Sebastianian lawyer who has been involved in graft and corruption. I did not know of any Sebastianian lawyer who has been very controversial because of immoral conduct or because of illegal conduct. And we are proud of that. And we are proud of producing ethical lawyers, those who really follow the ethics of the profession. I'm very proud of that. My graduates may not be the top graduates, but when they finish law, they follow the Christian form of lawyering. When I say Christian form of lawyering, do only what is good, never do what is not good. This is a very general advice in one sense. If I want to give advice to current law students on how to excel, there is just one way to excel. One must possess that homicidal instinct to be the best. If you don't want the word homicidal, let's call it the murderous mania to be the best. See, in other words, that strong, that firm desire to be the best. Kasi, kung mag-aaral ka ng law na lang naman, gawin mo na ang pinakamagandang pamamaraan ng pag-aaral. Kung mag-aaral ka ng law, hindi ka lang basta mag-aaral para maging isa sa mga gagraduate. Kung mag-aaral ka ng law, bakit hindi mo strive na ikaw ng pinakamagaling? Kung hindi man ikaw ang pinakamagaling, isa sa pinakamagagaling. So, if you need a grade of 75 to pass the course, dapat ang intention mo is to get a grade of 100. You always go back to the ethics of your profession because that is the mark of a great lawyer. The great lawyer is not the person who earns the most amount of money. The best lawyer is the lawyer who knows and understands his environment, the one who knows the needs of the people around. You become a lawyer not because you only want to have money. It's nice to have money, but it's nice to have money and at the same time to help the people around you.